So let's have a quick recap of our previous lecture. Have you attended the previous lecture, Abdullah and Kazan? So we are having a quick review of our previous lecture as you were not present in that lecture. So we are talking about research methods. Okay. So before going to understand what are the research methods and which kind of research methods we have, before that we need to understand that what is basically research. Okay, so we have a quick definition here. Research is a careful consideration of study regarding particular content and concerns or research problem using scientific methods. Okay, so according to American sociologist, research is a systematic inquiry to describe, explain, predict, or control the observed phenomena. Okay, so it is basically what it is, a systematic way to indicate, to describe, explain, and predict and define different mechanisms of world. Okay, and we may can explain different phenomena and maybe we can predict about the different technologies and so many more things. It involves inductive and deductive methods. So it have basically about the observed events, like we have so many observations and on our observation base we can predict something. Okay, so this is basically what this may be a research. Okay, so we will have large amount of data and then we will collect that data and produce some kind of results from that data after applying any methodology or maybe like machine learning, artificial intelligence, and maybe other security mechanisms, so many more things. So after applying those technologies, we can have the results of that research. Okay. So this is basically all about the research. So here are the two definitions, like what are the inductive method and what are the deductive methods. Inductive methods basically are the observed events, while deductive methods are very observed event, verify observed event. For example, when we talk about inductive approaches, it will associate with the qualitative research. Okay, it means that we are talking about the content. Okay, so when we are talking about deductive methods, it is related to quantitative analysis, and quantitative analysis mean we are talking about some formulas. Okay, we are talking about some quantity. Okay, so when we are talking about inductive approaches, it may have different kind of results from inductive approaches. Okay, so when we are talking about deductive methods, it will produce a kind of result. Okay, so when we have different opinions about something, it will inductive approach, and we just produce if one result from different observations and different knowledge and different data, it will be the deductive method. Basically, deductive method is going to produce a specific and valid result. And when we are talking about inductive approaches, by using inductive approaches, we may have different point of views about one thing, about specific one thing. Okay, so this is all about research. So when we are talking about research, we need to have some data. Okay, so when we want to perform research, we have some kind of data and then we need to apply any method or maybe any technology on that data, and on that basis we will produce any kind of results. Okay, so there could be many these ways. Okay, like desk research and ethnography interviews, and then we will talk about focus group, and then there is online communities, mobile research, there can be surveys, okay, and lots more methods for research. Okay, so when we are talking about research, we have to conduct data, okay, we have to like collect data. So when we are talking about data, we need some specific methods to collect that data, okay. So we are talking about here some methodologies for collection of data. So we are talking about desk research here. So when we want to collect some kind of data for existing systems, we use desk research. Okay. In desk research, basically what we are going to do, we don't need to go anywhere, and we don't need to arrange any kind of meetings, and we don't need any kind of specific planning. We just need to perform analysis, okay, from the given articles and given like research papers and given material about the existing systems we already have, okay. This is all about research, desk research, okay. For example, we review many reports and market trends. Okay, so this is basically what desk research. We are not going anywhere. We are just sitting on our like chair, and we are having laptop there, and we are just performing analysis by reading the reports, by reading the articles, by reading the content about the existing systems. Okay, okay, there is another example, analyzing competitor websites. Okay, so if we are doing desk research for our business, for example, so we can analyze different websites related like maybe our competitors, and they're also having websites of their business and of our field and of our like departments. We can see their websites, and we can analyze data from there, what they are doing, what they are going to offer, and how their customers are like satisfying from their services. So we will have idea about their like products and services. So we can perform analysis from different websites, okay, examining academic papers for theoretical frameworks. Okay, when we are talking about research like in a particular specific department and in specific field, for example, I want to search on artificial intelligence, or maybe I want to predict anything, and I want to use any kind of algorithms. Okay, maybe there is lots of like types of algorithms. I want to apply SVM. SVM is basically what? SVM is an algorithm, like we just say sport vector machine. Okay, it used for prediction. So when we are talking about different kind of algorithms in machine learning, so if I want to apply that kind of algorithm in a specific like problem, I want to solve any kind of problem, any kind of issue using different algorithms, I need to read the existing systems. Okay. When I was doing research and my supervisors told me that you need to collect some data from the existing articles. Okay. How we can collect from data from existing articles? Like there are so many articles already work in different fields, okay. As I were talking about machine learning, and maybe if you want to search about artificial intelligence, you need to just go Google, and there you can search Google Scholar, and on Google Scholar you can like search so many articles and research papers related different like topics, okay. So when I was reading those all articles, I am getting all the like methodologies they are using, different kind of data and different kind of problems they are solving through those articles. Okay. So basically, desk research providing us the facility that we don't need to go anywhere, and we are just here in front of our laptop and we can search different papers. Okay, this is all about desk research. Then we were talking about ethnography. So what is basically ethnography is, ethnography basically we use, it is a qualitative research method and focused on observing and understanding people's behavior in their natural environment. Okay, it is basically related psychology. When we want to understand the psyche of people in different environments, in different cultures, and different events, how people performing and how people react and how they behave, we need to use the ethnography method. In ethnography, we basically observe the customer behaviors and anyone behavior. Okay, we just use observation here in ethnography. Okay, so this is also a method to collect data. So when if we want to collect data through ethnography, we need to go that like particular event, we need to go that particular place, and when we go there we need to interact people, and we just need to also observe the people how they react and how they talk and how they behave. Okay, so this is all about ethnography. So using these different methods we can collect data for our research. Okay, so there was the next topic which we have talk about, like that was interviews. Okay, so as also you have well known from this topic, interview is all about one to one conversation. When one person is taking reviews or maybe any kind of views about a particular problem, about particular issue, or maybe a particular topic, so it is all about interview. When someone talk about a problem, okay, with a specific person, it will be the interview. Okay, so if someone want to solve your problem, okay, any kind of problem, like you are using WhatsApp, and we want to change different functionalities and different their operations, different tools. Okay, so if any kind of improvements required in that system, we may have interviews. Okay, and from interviews we will collect data that which kind of new functionalities should be added in a particular system, or maybe if any kind of system is not already like introduced or maybe not deployed yet, so we can also conduct interviews for the systems we want to build, like novel systems. Okay, which are just new. So we can conduct interviews for the systems we want to make and we want to make in future. So we can talk about the stakeholders, and we can talk to the customers and the end users, that which kind of product they want. Okay, that which kind of product they are expecting from the developers. Okay, so they can conduct interviews with the users or maybe with the developers and stakeholders, different kind of people. Okay, so this is all about interviews. And after that, we are talking about how can interview conducted. Okay, the steps for interview. So in previous lecture, I think so I have told all these steps in details. So now we don't need to discuss all these details again. Okay, so when we are talking about interviews, there is a concept of focus group. So when we are talking about interviews, we need to know that and we need to understand that we need so much time when we are talking about interviews. Okay, so if there are so many stakeholders and if there are so many end users and all of them are not able, we are not having enough time to conduct conversations, one to one conversations with everyone. Okay, so we don't have enough time. Okay, like if there we are talking about 100 people, we can conduct interviews. Okay, so what if there are 1,000 people, and what if there are 1 lakh people, or maybe much more than that, or million people? So then we need to understand that we don't have enough time to conduct interviews and to conduct detailed conversations with the end users or developers or other people. So then we just introduce the term of focus group. In focus group, basically, we just need to specific peoples, okay, which are pro in that field. We will talk with those and we will understand that which kind of thing they want in future, okay, which kind of product they want in future, okay, they want to develop. And if they are business, if they are having any kind of business and they want any kind of websites or maybe applications for their business, so there may be method which is focus group for data collection, okay. So basically focus group save our time, okay. So when we are talking about focus group, it is guided group discussions, like there is specific kind of peoples which will include in this group, okay. We don't need to like talk to everybody, like we don't need to have one-to-one conversations with everybody. We will just choose the specific people and conduct a moderator to explore the opinions and attitudes and the ideas and what they want in future, okay. If a developer want to develop any kind of websites for their users, related any particular business, okay, he or she maybe go to the specific people and having conversation with them, that which kind of things and which kind of functionalities they are talking about and they want in future and they want to deploy. So there are examples for focus group: testing a new product concept with a target audience. For example, we have made a product, okay, and before going to market it and before going to like deploy it in the public, we just need to deploy it with some particular like users, so with the target audience like that product, and they will tell and they will give feedback, so that on the behavior, on their behaviors and on the feedback basis, we will deploy that product. Or otherwise, if there any kind of modifications required, any kind of changes required in that product, so the businessman or maybe the all the developers have manufactured that product, they will modify that product before deployment, okay. So it is basically related testing. So we don't deploy a product directly after making that product. We need to test that product, and for that we just deploy the product for particular people, and they will give the feedback if the product is suitable or not, okay. It may be about business and products, or maybe it also related softwares, okay. So we are talking about previously about websites. So when we are talking about websites, they are also like a product, okay, for their end users. So when a developer talking about that website and he had developed that website, and then they have testing and then they want to apply that website, like uh, he or she want to deploy that for public. So before going to do that, he need to test that for particular users. Okay. So this is basically related focus group. Collecting feedback on the market campaign's effectiveness. Okay. So it is also an example related focus group. We just collect the feedback from the campaigns for effectiveness of our business. Understanding user preferences for software interface. For example, when we are talking about softwares, we need to have software's interface very well designed. Okay, like it should be user interactive, so that everybody who is going to use that software and going to use that application or website or anything, the person who is going to use that, it should be enough interactive with the user that he or she easily can understand the whole functionalities and the tools that software going to produce. Okay, for example, when we are talking about social media apps, they are so much user interactive and they have a good interface. Everybody who is like having the all the information related nowadays, laptops, about mobiles and the related nowadays technologies, so he or she may can have all the information about the social media apps. Why? Because they are user interactive. Okay, if they don't know how to use computer and phone, even they are able, like we are talking about kids. Okay, they know nowadays, even if a kid of 1 year know how to skip ad on YouTube. Okay, how he or she know, because we have made our interface so much interactive with the users and it is so much user friendly that everyone can understand. Okay, so before deploying any system, any software, we need to understand that which kind of modifications require for that software interface. So for that we need to introduce the system with a particular group. Okay, before deployment. So if the people are okay with that system, then we deploy that system. Otherwise, we need to modify the system. Okay, so let's see what are the steps for focus group. From start to end, we will talk about whole steps related focus group. Okay, so first of all, we need to select a topic in everything. When we are talking about interviews, when we are talking about ethnography, when we are talking about research, desk research. So before going to the next step, we first of all we need to understand that on which specific topic we are going to do research. Okay, in ethnography, like we also need to understand that which kind of topic we are interested to do research. Okay, so as well as in focus group, first of all we need to understand that which kind of topics or maybe the content we want to research on. Okay, and then we need to understand the scope of that research. Okay, so first the thing is you need to select your topic. Okay, so this is basically all these data collection methods will tell you that when you will do research, which kind of methodology you will use to collect the data. Okay, so listen it very carefully. First of all, we will need to understand the topic. Okay, and then we will define the scope for that research. And hypothesis. What is hypothesis now? Hypothesis means we are going to produce an estimated result of our research. If we want to do research, we will perform any kind of methodologies on different kind of data to produce some results. Okay, but before performing that research, like before going to do research, we have estimated results. Okay, we have a kind of understanding that when we will perform this research, we will get this kind of results. Okay, so this is means we have the hypothesis of that research. Okay, this helps determine the time and cost needed to complete the study. Okay, so when we are talking about hypothesis, if we know the results, okay, if we know about the results of our research, and we know which kind of things we will produce, and in how much time and how much cost required for our system. So before going to start our research, we need to understand these things, obviously. Create questions. Okay, determine the question to ask during the focus group. Okay, when we are using the focus group data collection method, we need to create some particular questions. Okay, we need to plan those questions. Okay, so that we can collect the data in a given time. Okay, in a less time. Because if we are not prepared in focus group and in interviews, and we don't have prepared any kind of questions, so what we will do, we will waste our time. Okay, so to avoid this problem, we need to create and plan different questions for the focus group. Okay, we need to understand that when we will go to the focus group, being a developer, okay, so we need to know the questions we are going to ask from them. Okay, otherwise there will be a maybe time waste. Select a moderator. Okay, in this focus group, maybe there 7 to 8 people, or maybe 10. It depends upon your like system and which kind of problem you are going to solve, and for which kind of problem you are going to collect data. So it basically depend upon that. Okay, so in your whole group, you need to select a moderator or coordinator or co-moderator to lead the discussion. Okay, who will lead the discussion? So the people who will ask the questions and the people who are the developers, or maybe who are doing this research, they need to understand that one or two people who will lead the discussion. Okay, so the other people, obviously we will talking about stakeholders. What basically stakeholders are all the people who have any kind of influence, like any kind of effect related a particular research, or related a particular thing. Okay, related a particular business. If the people are influenced by the business, or maybe a problem, or maybe from a particular research, or maybe a particular product, they all are stakeholders. Okay, so there will be the next step: recruit participants. We need to understand that if we are talking about focus group, we need to specify those people. With them we are going to do discussion. Okay, so we need to recruit those participants. Okay, select participant for the focus group. A common method is used: purposive or convenience sampling. So basically purposive mean which kind of problem we are going to solve, and what is the purpose behind our research. Okay, so this is purposive sampling. And when we are talking about convenience sampling, it means that we are just convenient, and we are having